am recording.
Oh, I need to request permission of you. Okay. Right. Doesn't matter. You're recording.
I'm recording.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the first ever podcast featuring myself, Jack Richardson, and my partner in crime, Vic and Jack. I don't know what this podcast is called at the time of this recording. We don't know yet. We just discussed it before we started recording. Yeah, we'll come up with a name. But anyway, this is first of hopefully many recordings and podcasts that we're going to have together. We're going to try to make it weekly, and we're going to be talking about just a bunch of different types of topics, and we're going to have a nice chat, basically, an hour every week, essentially.
All the shizzle.
All the shizzle. I'm on actually the world's squeakiest chair, so you're gonna have to bear with me on that.
That's rude, and we're gonna have to sort that out because the heavier and more enlarged you become, that squeak is going to get more and more apparent.
And the chair will actually break on me.
Possibly.
In conversation, which I think that might happen in this podcast. To be fair.
To be fair, that will be extremely comical, and if that does happen, I probably would laugh a lot. Which we will not edit out either because, yeah, comedic value.
Of course.
Anyway, getting immediately into the podcast. Hi, guys. Normally you would hear from me and say, like, welcome to the Don't Fear the Weight podcast. But I'm not going to be doing this one because we do, like Jack just said, we do not have a name for this podcast because it was just like, do you know what? We train together. We talk about all these different kind of shit and shizzle in the gym. We might as well record it because we're talking about really good subjects here.
Yeah, we are. We're having some, like, the amount of times we've said something like, we should have recorded that.
I know, right?
I don't know if we're thinking very highly of our conversations. We'll see. We'll see on the engagement of this video.
Exactly, and what kind of responses. So, guys, if you like the shizzle, thumbs up. If you think it was a complete waste of time, well, then just be honest. We are no bullshit, so just be honest with us. If you don't want to listen to us drivel on, then, don't. But anyway, right, little bit of an intro then. Mr. Richardson, why don't you just introduce yourself to the people who do not know who you are? If they don't know who you are, why the hell are they listening? I don't know, but you might as well just introduce that first off, and we've got a baseline to go on.
Brilliant, cool. So I'm Jack Richardson. I'm Stoke. I am Stoke.
You're Stoke. You are Stoke.
I'm the heart of Stoke. Stoke's sweetheart. Anyway, I'm from Stoke-on-Trent. I am a bodybuilder. I've just done a competitive season in 2019 as a natural bodybuilder as a junior. I've recently become assisted in pursuit of chasing down an IFBB pro card in classic physique.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Vicky, tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, I am completely the opposite to you, obviously. One, because I'm about 15 years older than you. I know I don't look at people. If you are watching on YouTube, the secret is Nivea, right? Nivea, darling. Just whack it on. Bathe in the shit. But no, I am. I'm about,
What about green tea and detox teas?
Oh, detox. Yeah. All the detox teas. I actually have one here right now. All the detox teas. So just to dispel a myth, because, we do want this to be as educational as possible. Anybody says to you that you need a detox tea, all it's going to make you do is shit. So yeah, not highly recommended. And it's not going to be able to do anything for your physique. It's not going to do anything for your skin, hair, nails, or anything else along those lines. So please do not go for skinny tea, detox tea, happy go tea, or shit yourself thin coffee. It's not going to work. Yeah. Okay, so just stay out.
Bullshit. And don't put butter in your coffee.
Yeah, don't put butter in your coffee. If you want to stick a butter in your coffee just for all of the calories because you are a growing bodybuilder, then fine, have it. But in terms of finding the fountain of eternal youth, a stick of butter in your coffee is not going to do that. So that's a little bit about me. I'm 15 years older than Jack, near enough, and I have a no bullshit approach to life.
That's the way to be.
Exactly, right? So I am a competitive bodybuilder, competitive powerlifter as well. So I am a little bit of a hybrid. I compete in the under 52 kilo weight category, but hopefully not for much longer because I want to make all of the gains and not really get concerned too much about scale weight realistically, and just carry on building bigger biceps than Jack because I have those at the moment. So I am also, obviously, just like we both are, an online coach. I have a specialty in sports performance, predominantly, well, in any kind of sport, realistically, because food is food and we can use food to our advantage in order to fuel performance, create muscles, and lose body fat. So, yeah, that is what I am predominantly focused on at this moment in time. In terms of what we are going to be talking about today, it's mostly about dispelling some bullshit and dispelling some myths, isn't it, that we're going to do?
Yeah, and why we've decided to partner up and fight together.
Yeah, because again, just obviously like clutching onto that side of things, where when I first started introducing myself, I said that I'm completely the opposite to Jack. Reason being is because I am still a dirty natty. So all of you guys out in the assisted field, dirty natty, absolutely. I am not bad as being Stoke. Sorry. But no, it is. I am completely natural. I have been completely natural all of my life. And I am a female. I am also a lot smaller than Jack. I'm probably about half your body weight, something like that. About that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe something along those lines. I know that you could. I know that I weigh less than the dumbbells that you press on an incline dumbbell press.
They're a pass up, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So we are completely opposite, and a lot of people, obviously, with you now being assisted as well and being a giant bloke, a young with highly fueled testosterone filled bollocks, will and have said on a number of occasions, how can you two train together? Why have you decided to partner up? Because of you being an opposite. So I'm going to pose that question for you to dispel most of all, because it's very, very easy for me to say it in terms of like all of the evidence base and shit like that. But I want it to be from your perspective at the same time.
Yeah. So a lot of people have the perspective and the perception that you can't train with the opposite gender. It doesn't work. But the reason why we're training together is because we have pretty much identical work ethics. We have pretty much identical training philosophies, and we're willing to struggle through a set. And that's what we're looking for. It's not about who lifts more. And essentially, Vicky is potentially probably pound for pound stronger than me, because like she mentioned, she is a power lifter as well as being a bodybuilder, which basically makes her a powerhouse. Benches, like she's got an invite to the British, which I believe is the end of February or no, March, beginning of March. So tell the viewers what you're benching at the moment.
So at the moment, what did we do the other day? So we actually did a slingshot bench, went up to 75. So 75 kilo bench. I've just come back from the Commonwealth. Well, I say just come back, that was in November, which was the Commonwealth Powerlifting Games over in Canada, which I came back and obviously and got a silver for England in that particular game. But it's like you were saying, pound for pound, I'm probably stronger than you in terms of body weight, but it won't be like that forever because, you know, obviously either I'm going to get fatter and weaker or you're going to become more muscular and obviously more stronger. So pound for pound, yeah, I mean, the fact is that one of the biggest myths that people do think of is that females and males cannot train together because of the weight that's lifted. But the fact is that as long as you are lifting weights and you are lifting to your particular potential, what does it matter? Whether
that's what I look for in a training partner, essentially, is someone who's willing to struggle. I've lifted with people stronger than me, but they haven't put everything into the set. So, for example, they're lifting heavier weight, and they're leaving it with probably about 3, 4, maybe 5 reps in reserve, and I'm giving everything I can in the set. Yeah, they're lifting heavier, but I'm like, dude, you can lift heavier, you can lift more, and it's just not. It's not really a motivating sort of training partnership. Really, if someone isn't giving it their all, it doesn't matter if they're stronger. So I'd much prefer to train with someone who is going to go balls to the wall, literally just train in a particular style that I like training in. And I think if we're going to use an example, Dorian Yates, it worked very well for him for having a training partner with pretty much identical sort of philosophies of training as him, and they're willing to push each other. And I think, you know, me and Vic, we're from roughly the same area. We train at the same gyms. We can train at the same time. Again, we've got the same training philosophies, and why not? Why not train? And if anyone says, "Well, you're a guy and you're a girl," then that's bollocks. Come watch us train, or come train with us. It doesn't matter. It does not matter at all.
Since we've actually been putting out some training videos actually together on how we train together and the kind of exercises that we are doing, I've had a number of guys who have actually requested to have a training session with me though.
Really?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Does that make you jealous?
It does, yeah, because other guys don't like me.
But they do though. They ask you to like muscle pose for them for like 10 minutes, don't they?
I thought I could escape this. No, yeah, it's true. I have the spoon in the kitchen to match.
So we were talking about like Instagram followers and things like that the other day, right? And I have people who just kind of walk into the gym saying, "Oh my God, Tiny Titan, hi, how are you?" And I just don't know who the hell they are. Whereas like, you don't get that, do you? You have people say, "Can you take your shirt off for me?"
Yeah, I have people coming up to me and say, "How would you like to weigh 20 pounds for 5 minutes?" It's a different type of demographic. I don't know what about my content says, "Please oscillate my nipples," but I think I need to start changing it.
You need to change your content of what you're bringing out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm too provocative. I don't know. Maybe
possibly.
maybe I'm acting a bit promiscuous on the IG stories when I'm stirring the oats. Maybe it's the oats stir.
Then maybe it is the oat stir. It is. It's the anabolic oat stir, the pre-training oat stir.
Just deducing all these really frustrated guys on the internet.
Anyway, moving swiftly back on from that. So yeah, training, male and female training partners. Have you ever had another training partner before me, or have you always trained on your own?
I've had plenty of training partners. A lot of them have been crap. I mean, I've had training partners where they've been like, "Yeah, okay, can I please train with you?" Okay, cool. And we train, and they're like, look at the watch, like, yeah, how long have we got left, mate? Mm-hmm. Or you go off and do some other shit in the middle of the training session, or they just, you know, they just want to talk. You want to use it as a social thing. And this is why I'm saying it's very, very hard to find someone you're compatible with training. I have had some good training partners in the past, but like I said, circumstances of life, you know, are different. Again, me and Vic are able to train at the same time. Like I used to train with my girlfriend Molly, and she used to be an awesome person to train with. Again, she's a female, but yeah, like she couldn't train with me because she's had to work. So unfortunately, that had to stop. But yeah, I have spent a lot of my time training on my own because I've become very, very picky with who I choose to train with. Because if they don't train right, then I don't want them hindering my session. Especially on, you know, as I've just done a contest prep, I spent the majority of that just training on my own. I spent the beginning of that training with Mol, but obviously that stopped. And yeah, the rest of it because I just didn't want anything to fuck it up, essentially. What about you? Have you trained with many people in the past, or have you been a solo lone wolf?
I've realistically, I've been a solo person. Reason being is because exactly the same kind of mindset as yourself, really. I have had people who have trained with me in the past, but they have, and I'm not boasting my own trumpet or anything like that, but they just haven't been able to keep up. You know, they've either just kind of gone, the one thing that I really fucking hate, and the one thing that I used to really hate when I was a one-on-one PT, is when you say to somebody, right, one more rep, and they put the bar down, they go, oh no, I can't do it. It's like, why? You had 5 or 6 left at that point, you know? And the whole point about creating a change aesthetically, or even in terms of strength, is about getting to failure, or near as damn it close to it. Now, if you're going to continue to stop and put the bar down, or stop squatting in the pendulum squat or the hack squat when you easily have 5 or 6 left, you ain't never going to make an aesthetic change. And that's one of the biggest things that I hate training with females. I have seen females train together. This is my biggest fucking rant, right? I hope, you know, yeah, by the way, if you're listening to this with kids, I apologize. We swear. But one of the biggest things that I see in the gym is females training together, right? And they're more interested in flicking their hair, in having a look at their booty pop, in sitting on a leg press sideways, and then fucking doing one-legged sideways leg presses. What are you doing, girls? Like, honestly.
You get those guys do.
Why are they doing it?
They just get in the mirror and like, oh, so chest. And then do arms, and then chest, and then, oh, do you want to hit a leg day together? No. Ah!
Yeah. No legs, team no legs. But this is what annoys me. And it's just like, if you actually put more attention and more focus into the session that you are doing, and stop leaving all of these bloody reps in reserves every single session, then you'll actually make differences. And stop focusing. Jesus Christ, I've got this one guy who's in the gym all the time, and I literally cannot look at him anymore because he just pisses me off. He does like a set of abs and then stares at himself in the mirror and checks his abs. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to disappear, or just immediately grow after you've done 10 ab crunches, which you haven't done very well, by the way? You know, so the less time you spend looking in the mirror in the gym, and more time focusing on what you are actually doing in the gym, you're going to be making more progress. So that's why I train on my own the majority of the time.
Yeah, I can completely and utterly empathize with that. And this is why I go into the gym and wear baggy shit, just because, so I don't get distracted by the gains. No, just so, because I just want to go in there, and it's literally, for me, training, and it's not for everyone. I understand that, but for me, because I want an ambitious bodybuilding career, I want to go in and work. I want to work, and I want to make sure everything's done right. And I think that is the beauty of having a good training partner. I mean, there is downsides to having a training partner, as we've just mentioned, but the benefits of having a good training partner is, you know, if you're having an off day, they can say, well, they can sort of push you through and put you through the paces that you should be at. Like, for example, this Monday, me and Vic were probably a bit under the weather, and we had legs, and legs is usually a hard day. Now, if I was to train that on my own, I probably wouldn't have got the session I would usually get. And maybe the same for you, Vic. But because we were training together, we were able to sort of bounce off each other's energy and each other's want to get the session done. So there's definitely a merit to having a good training partner, and also having someone to say, right, okay, you haven't got one more, or right, okay, your form's starting to slip. Just having, like, yeah, you can record your sets, but having someone there in the moment, that really is helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Like you were just saying about having an off day on the Monday. Yeah, we pushed each other to get those extra reps and get through a damn good session. But I think it's also very beneficial to have a good and honest training partner. So instead of just pushing you through when you may not be in that zone to be pushed through, it's better if you can just say, do you know what? Tap out, mate. This is not your session. You are not going to be able to finish this efficiently without getting hurt or without making yourself even worse. So just tap out. You know, it's the same. You have a really weak lower back, right? the reason why you've got a weak lower back, we've identified, obviously, you've got a shoulder issue, you've also got some weaker glutes. And this is one of the biggest things, guys, another knowledge bomb that we can just kind of throw in there. If you've got a weak lower back that's like glass, it might be down to the fact that you've got poor posture, a weak core, and weak glutes. So work on those as efficiently as you can to get them stronger, and then your lower back is not going to take the full force of any lift that you're going to be doing. So in terms of your deadlifts, you really wanted to get your deadlifts up. And it was only a couple of weeks ago that you were still only lifting like 100, right? So yeah, and I mean, I can barbell snatch 100. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I've just come off it, by the way, guys. This is
exactly.
I'm max 100. I was able to deadlift okay before, but I've fucked my back up and I had to start from literally 80 kg. But yeah.
In order to get it right. Now, because I've coached powerlifters in the past, I can see your form. We gave you literally just like 3 cues, right? Which was you get, 4 cues, I suppose. Get set up, lats, take the slack out of the bar, press the floor away. And then all of a sudden, your deadlift was like, oh my God, I can now deadlift 160 pain-free. Which is pretty damn
which
good.
is a very important thing, yeah. Because I was doing like 100, 120, and do you know what? I was in pain after, and I'm doing 160. I feel like I could deadlift all day. With that sort of exercise, I am leaving reps in reserve just because, again, we don't want to compromise. I need to have that absolute perfect execution. Some people can get away with the form slightly slipping, but if I do that, as I learned just before Christmas, my back tweaks, and literally just before Christmas that happened. I was walking around like this. Oh, Christmas, yeah. Have a great Christmas, I am. Oh. Look like I'm in the middle of having a shit.
Yeah. Brilliant. So yeah, so in terms of having a good, or even a training partner, it's somebody who can actually see what you are doing there and then at the time, rather than videoing your own set, watching it back and going, shit, that's where I put my back out, where at that point it's too late. So it is very beneficial to have that second eye. It's the same like going through prep, isn't it? You know, you have this second eye going through prep, whether it be a coach or a really good friend, just to basically stop you from doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know, not doing stupid shit is really bloody important in the gym and throughout prep.
Yeah, and it is very tempting to do stupid shit because you get caught up in the heat of the moment and you're like, right, okay, cool, I'm going to lift this. And there's been times already where Vic's like, maybe you want to warm up on a weight slightly lower than just jumping up that much.
Yeah,
like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Especially when we're doing dumbbell incline presses next to Eddie Hall and the Stoltman brothers, and it's just like who are in preparation for the Giants live tour, by the way, in like 17 days time, and they're just like warming up on 60-kilo dumbbells, and I'm there with like, you know, what did I lift? Did I do 25, 22 and a half, something like that? I can't remember.
Something like that. Yeah, it was, yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'll do 30s. It's just like, no, I'm not going to do 30s. And then Jack's like, yeah, I'll do 75s because Eddie's doing 60. And it's very influential. I mean, what about influences in the gym, let alone your training partner? What about influences in the gym? When you're deadlifting next to Eddie Hall, does he really kind of force you to make you think, shit, I want to lift heavier?
Oh yeah, it does. Like, again, when I was just starting my deadlift on the 80 kg, now I'm not trying to make this happen, but every deadlift session, he seemed to be deadlifting right next to me. I wasn't fanboying and trying to follow him around like, oh yeah, I want to deadlift next to the deadlift. No, it was me. It was me just minding my own business, and this guy's just deadlifting like 1,000 times more than me, and it's like, wow. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, right, I need to take this slow, because if I don't, I'm going to tweak my back and I'm not going to be able to walk, and then it's going to be pointless. So I need to take this slow. And anyway, if I was to deadlift my absolute max, then it still would have not been absolutely impressive to Eddie. It actually probably would have been embarrassing because I would have been crippled after.
Yeah, absolutely. It is interesting though, isn't it? Because even though you're doing that from a positive influence, they influenced you this week on Tuesday for our push session. They influenced you to actually lift your second set of dumbbell presses heavier.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, they were doing this like dumbbell ladder presses, like every increase they had to do 6 reps until they failed and just got 5. And they went from 50 to 57.5 because you had the 60s. So your second set, you were just going to knock it down to 57.5. And yeah, unfortunately, they took 57.5. So you said making an executive decision, and not because they've just taken my dumbbells, I'm going to do this again. So even though they have like a positive influence on you to think, yeah, I'm going to live stronger, they also have a different kind of influence on you because they take your weights, which has got to be empowering, though, right?
Do my weights because they're jealous that I'm getting too strong in the gym.
Exactly. So it's just like, do you know what? We're just going to take those and make him fail a little bit earlier by using the 60. But, you know, things that happen in the gym. I think one of my favorite and we always seem to like train when Eddie Hall and his buddies come around with the filming stuff and they're doing the same stuff as we are. And I'm not going to say that we copy them because we always start before they do. So they copy us.
They copy us.
They copy us.
Now,
That's what I'm going to put it down.
Like, right, these guys are training this. Come on, YouTube guys.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have all of the cameras everywhere and kick them off the bench that we want to use because they're using that. So yeah, it's funny. Again, just chatting shit now, guys. But no, it is always funny. One of my favorite sessions or not even a session, it's a YouTube video that I bombed into with Eddie Hall, and he was training with Martin Ford and Paddy McGuinness, and they were doing a leg video or a legs training session, and I jumped in on the same exercises. I had to keep on, kicking them out of the way. I was like, I was on this first. But I did get a wicked picture, being extremely tiny, and even Paddy McGuinness had some gains at that point. I mean, he's like 6'4". Do you know what I mean? He's huge. Yeah. And yet he's still dwarfed by Martin Ford and Eddie Hall, offs.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Of course, but yeah, I was really small. So so we're going on from training partners. So obviously Eddie Hall has some training partners like the Stoltman brothers, like Martin Ford, like Paddy McGuinness. And you can even say that him training with Paddy McGuinness is a little bit like me and you training together because they are complete opposites. Aren't they really?
But like, I would say you have more experience in the gym than Paddy McGuinness.
Right? But then again, so Eddie Hall has way more experience than Paddy McGuinness. Now, of course, it's all for YouTube and it's all for great show watching. It's great for comedic value at the same time. But if Eddie Hall can train with somebody like Paddy McGuinness and have a really good training session, why can't you train with me and have a good training session?
Again, yeah. Like I said, the only way I will have a shit training session with another person is if they're just literally not pulling their weight. Literally.
Not pulling their own weight. If they can't do a pull-up and pull their own weight.
If they can't do a muscle up, they ain't shit.
A muscle up. Have you ever tried a muscle up?
I have, yeah. When I was fat, I was able to do it. It wasn't clean. It wasn't pretty. I took many attempts. Might not have been a proper muscle up, but I was over the bar.
You did it on a bar, not rings.
I'm not the calisthenic master.
The calisthenic master, very good word, very good use of terminology there. But yeah, muscle ups. A lot of people. Did you see that people's eyebrow there? Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have to try and wind that back and just get the people's eyebrow that you just did. Brilliant. Yeah, there was in fact I had my physio yesterday, and was it yesterday? Yeah, Thursday. So I had my physio yesterday, and one of the physio's goals was to actually get a muscle up by the end of the year. Now, muscle ups, right? Because my husband Scott, he was an international gymnast, and he was British champion on the rings. So if you actually think about what the guys need to do on rings, and how hard a muscle up is, you know how in gymnastics they're awarded certain points for certain movements and it's out of a total score of 15. Do you know how many points they get from getting the muscle up?
No.
0.
How many? 0 points.
0 points. They get 0 points because if you think about it, that's how you get up onto the rings. How else
No
do you
way.
get up onto the rings?
No way. That's ridiculous. That is
So that is
ridiculous.
literally like, if you put it into a different context, right? That's literally like a girl or a guy going out onto the floor routine and just walking out onto the floor and going,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Literally.
ready.
I'm ready.
I'm
I'm here.
here. You know, I mean, that is basically what it is. If you want to put it down into
Yeah.
bodybuilding terms, that's like somebody walking out onto the stage going, maestro. Do you know what I mean? So they get 0 points. So for a move that CrossFitters spend fucking months in trying to perfect, and all of these bodybuilders trying their damnedest to get up over the bar, gymnasts learn how to do it. Yeah.
I nearly hernia trying to do it, and that doesn't
Hernias.
even cost anything. That's like, right, okay, you're ready to begin now.
Absolutely, yeah. Gymnasts learn it. My son, he's part of the British boys squad, and he's only 10. He learned how to do a muscle up when he was like 5 on the rings.
Wow.
And it's as simple as that, and it's all technique, and that's all it is, it's technique. But if you go to like Body Power or different expos and stuff like that, they're like, yeah, you can get a t-shirt if you can do a muscle up. And you see all these bodybuilders trying like fucking broken dolphins, trying to get up over the bar, and they just can't do it. And then I'm just saying to Scott, yeah, just go and do that. Up he goes over on there, and then does like some kind of like backward planche type thing with his legs splayed in the air and stuff, and everyone's like, wow, it's really impressive, you know, throws a t-shirt, and that's what it is. So yeah, if you want to learn how to do a muscle up just to be impressive for your friends, go to a gymnast and he'll be able to teach you the technique like this easy. Don't go to a CrossFitter because they have to break it all down, and you know, you've got to do the pull up first, and then the kipping pull up, and then the butterfly, and then the toss over, and everything else that you can imagine. Don't bother, just go to a gymnast and he'll be like, yeah, I'll just do this. It's fine.
Hashtag no CrossFit.
Hashtag no CrossFit. Oh, dog. My dog is barking now. Hilarious. So yeah, that's a little bit of an intro into us. It's interesting. We did put out a post for certain questions. So Jackie, did you get any questions off any?
I sure did.
Ooh, let's have some questions.
Yeah, whilst I get them up, I do know a lot of people have actually, well, the majority of the questions are actually what our plans are in terms of competing and when we're next competing and what federations we're going to compete in. So I'll let you take the floor with that whilst I get this, get the cues up.
Get the cues up. Okay, fabulous. So aims, goals, aspirations. So I've been entered into the British bench press. Am I going to do it? We shall find out. Don't know. My shoulder has been giving me quite a lot of issues recently, so I am doing some physio markers for those just to see what's going on. The other thing about the British bench is that I do have to make it to as an under 52 powerlifter, 52 kilo powerlifter, which isn't difficult because realistically my weight is a bitch and doesn't particularly like to stay on. So I will see about that side of things. In terms of bodybuilding and stage appearances and that kind of thing, I would love, love, love to compete this year. We are still in talks with each other, aren't we, really, about certain elements that we shall not get into at this moment in time, about making that decision of whether it's going to be this year or whether it's going to be 2021. I am still a natty, so I would be looking to compete in the natural federations like the UK DFBA, NPA, maybe the NAC, that kind of thing, depending on how I feel like on there. But the UK DFBA would take precedence because I do believe that it is the best federation out there in terms of natural bodybuilding. And I think that is about all of my teddy bear plans for now. I call them teddy bear because they're still fluffy. So they're fluffy and woolly plans. But for yourself, you have transitioned from being a dirty natty to being a big swole enhanced monster. So
nice, clean, steaded.
So you cannot no longer compete in the UK DFBA because that would be wrong and immoral.
That would be immoral and that would be cheating.
It would be cheating.
Okay, so the plans for me competing is I'm going to grow like a motherfucker. my aim is to put on 20 pounds of lean muscle, so 20 pounds on my stage weight. I last competed around about 170 pounds, and for the height and weight criteria for classic physique, it's 190 pounds, so 20 pounds. So whether that will be in time for 2021 or 22, depending on how I grow, that's when I'll compete. I'll only compete when I'm ready, and I think I'm able to get a pro card. I think I'll have a chance to do it. The federation, which I'm likely to be competing in, is Two Bros. Yeah, because that is the route to go down to for the IFBB Pro. But yeah, classic physique is the aim for me, and that's literally, that was the incentive behind turning to the dark side.
Turning to the dark side.
Dark side.
Indeed, indeed. Whereas myself, I think getting an IFBB Pro card for myself is completely unrealistic. So I just wouldn't go down that route realistically. Because for myself, I've got a bit of a weird physique, so I can't fit into figure categories. The athletic category, which I did in the BMBF, I was perfectly suited for. However, obviously, shit happens at the end of the day. So the only other thing that I would be looking to go into is women's bodybuilding. And women's bodybuilding is astronomically difficult to get an IFBB Pro card in, especially at my age with my hormonal levels. So I'm going to be completely realistic and just kind of say, you know what, IFBB Pro card, not achievable for me. So I'm just not going to put it on my my list of things to do before I die, because it's not going to be achieved.
Well, you know what Justin Bieber says, never say never.
I didn't know that Justin Bieber said that, because
I'm not a believer. No.
Right, question. Ask a question.
So we have a question from my guy, Matthew Hewitt. Matthew the Huge Hewitt.
Hello, Matthew the Huge.
He asks about the favoured. It's quite an interesting question. He asks about the favoured rep range in an off season versus prep and why. So to give my answer to this is there is no preferred rep range for me personally. Because I train at a magnitude of rep ranges anyway throughout prep and my off season. So my rep ranges come from. Pardon?
A magnitude? You mean a multitude?
A magnitude. Oh dear, we're gonna have to do the whole podcast again.
Go on.
A multitude of
rep ranges.
So they're going from as low as 5 reps and as high as 20 reps in some. And I do think that is very beneficial because it gives you a chance to sort of train different muscle fibers, but also the lower rep ranges, it gives me an opportunity to train heavy with a heavy load, and the higher ones, it gives me a chance to sort of focus really on the execution and making sure every rep is pitch perfect, because it's a lot lighter load and a lot easier to control. But a lot of people do sort of think that if you're cutting or if you're dieting, you have to up the rep ranges, which it isn't true. They think, more reps, you can tone up. And that's what I've heard, but it isn't true. I suppose if you stay away from the lower low rep ranges, when you are sort of stage lean, you can avoid injury. But other than that, I don't see any benefit to only sticking to higher rep ranges. What's your thoughts on this?
I completely agree. I do think that you should have a multitude of rep ranges throughout your programming. Now, a lot of people do things in blocks. So you can have a strength block, then you can have a hypertrophy block, and then you can have like a complete stupidity block, realistically, where you go up above the 20 to 30 rep ranges. Now that's all right if you wanted to do that one, because it can obviously relieve some CNS fatigue from building up strength reps. Then you're obviously going into a lighter rep or a lighter weight, but for higher reps. But one of my biggest things, and what I am a true believer in, is that if you actually combine a different array of rep ranges. You are going to be hitting different muscle fibers at different points in your training cycle. You can do those all at the same time. You know, you can work strength ranges, which is obviously like, you know, I mean, this is what all of the bro things kind of say. Anything between 3 and 5 reps are your strength ranges. Anything between like 8 and 12 or 8 and 15 reps are your hypertrophy ranges. And then everything after that is obviously for the pump. Okay. If you do everything, you know, we keep on taking the mick, right? Because it's like you fail at 12 and it's just like, well, that's the hypertrophy rep range. Your muscle will just not go any further than the hypertrophy rep range because that's what your game is. But if you can become strong in all rep ranges, you're going to be hitting different muscle fibers every single time. And for people who just kind of say you can't do strength and hypertrophy in the same session, why not? Sorry, why not? You can do. I've been doing it for fucking years, and you know, I'm a hybrid champion powerlifter bodybuilder. I've recovered all right, you know, and things are going very, very well. So there's nothing wrong with doing all of them. For preferred rep ranges in and out of season, no, I would just basically say find something that actually works for you. Find something that you are able to do consistently, that you are able to recover from, and that you are able to progressively overload on. Your cycles will have to change throughout the macro cycle. Reason being is because you are going to get stronger, you are probably going to get heavier, especially in an improvement season or an off season, and because of that, the fatigue buildup will be a little bit more so. So if you gauge it properly and you advance properly, and you don't just kind of go from 100 to 200 in one session, then you'll be able to progressively overload within that rep range without feeling so beaten up. So yeah, I mean, you've just got to be able to watch your volume, watch your training splits. For natties, I do believe that training twice a week is more than achievable and more than recoverable from, as long as your volume is well done. For assisted people, I think that you can have a bit of a wider split because of the MPS response being elevated for longer. So you can realistically have a body part split rather than push-pull legs or upper lower or full body 73 times a week. You know, it's not necessarily needed. So I do believe that assisted and natural athletes do have to gauge their volume and splits, you know, purposely for them. And especially down to the responses that they have. But in terms of rep ranges, it's all about controlling your volume, controlling your recovery capabilities, and then taking it from there, really. So if you feel stronger and better and recovering better on 6 to 10 reps, then do that. If you feel better doing 8 to 15 reps, then do that. If you want to do a combination of the two, then do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. I agree with everything you just said.
Good.
So next question comes from the mighty Georgie boy, George Osborne.
Hi, John.
He asks for, hold on, let me get the full question up. Oh dear.
Have you lost this?
Goals for 2020, personal, gym, business, and relationship. I'll let you take the floor with this one, Vicky.
You want me to take the floor with it? Well, I've just answered that. So goals, business, relationship. Okay, well, relationship-wise, I'm married. So I'm kind of hoping that that's still going to go okay in 2021 and 2020. You know, I prefer not to lose my marriage over the next kind of 2 years, which is going to be very, very beneficial. Business-wise, I'd just actually like to keep on flourishing my business the way it is doing. The way that I'm progressing my business at the moment is really focusing on performance nutrition for elite level athletes, and that is across a multitude of sports worldwide, which I'm very proud of. You know, I've got a couple of strongmen who are competing in a couple of weeks at the Giants Live Tour. So that's a huge privilege for me to do that for people. And I just want to carry on helping people from getting from that amateur level to that elite level. And it's just that kind of like pop up a little bit more, which I feel, again, very grateful and privileged to be in that position with. I'm finishing my master's in May, fingers crossed. So that'll all go well. And then that will be another accolade to put onto my boat. And I am hoping to go further on down the line next year towards a PhD, possibly. We will have a look again at that in the near future. And then what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, goals and competing wise. So goals and competing, I've already kind of gone over a little bit more. So possibly the British bench, and then either going to be competing bodybuilding wise on stage this year or next year, depending on where I am at the beginning of March, whether I have made all of the muscles or not.
All the gains.
All the gains or not. So over to you. I'm just going to quickly disappear from screen, but you carry on talking because people don't actually need to look at me whilst you're talking.
Hi, Vic. Hi, guys. So I'll be hosting the show from now on. So for the goals for me, 2020, it's all about growing for me. Growing into the gym, growing muscle tissue, ready to compete in attempts for the IFBB Pro card, but also growing my business. Imperium. Yeah, which is nice little plug there. Which is my online coach company. So I'm just going to focus on growing it, get some guys on stage this year. Have a bunch of awesome clients like I did last year, and just grow the brand and just focus a lot in coaching, because obviously last year I was competing, and where a lot of competitors who also do coach, they find that they have to have their coaching on the back foot a little bit just so they can focus on competing, and it's hard to juggle the two. So I'm sort of alternating between the two, and this year I'm able to obviously take on more clients and focus on my business. Another thing I want to grow is my social media, things like YouTube. So
I thought you were going to say your beard then, because you were another thing that I want to grow. I was like, yeah, I have this problem.
I want to actually grow an actual beard this year. That's going to be my lifelong mission. I've been attempting for 22 years. I think I can actually have a mustache in time for the end of November.
Carry on.
Yeah, so I want to grow my YouTube as well. I want to get some videos out, and including this podcast, which again hopefully should be weekly. In terms of relationships, I'm in a relationship now. Hopefully, like Vicky said, that doesn't dissipate for any reason. In terms of networking with people, I want to meet people as well in the industry, because I met plenty through competing last year, and I want that to continue. So even with, say, like if we're going to different gyms and whatever, or just different, like you're having a meetup, aren't you, 25th of January? And again, that will be a great opportunity to meet people. I want to meet plenty of people and just essentially just grow, have what I have now, but grow it.
Yeah.
And that's the goal for 2020, is to just grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Another question is, why do we, as bodybuilders, love oats?
That's hilarious, because I can easily answer this question. I don't.
You don't?
I don't eat oats.
I can answer the question. The love from oats comes from starving.
From what?
It does. From starving.
Oh, from starving. Right, okay.
Yeah. Like, in the off season, when your appetite's nice and, well, no, not nice and low, but low, oats are disgusting to even look at. You heaving, just the sight of them. The thought of eating oats, no, don't want to do that. But when you're dieting, oh my God, it's the best thing in the world. I think I've got this question because the amount of times I keep posting oats, and the amount of times I did post oats on the actual prep.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's good. It's good for satiety. It keeps you nice and full. The texture is great. You can add loads of different flavors when you mix it with protein. This is why basically bodybuilders just shag oats all the time, because in prep it's nice, cheap, easy food. It's great for you. Another question about oats.
Another question about oats, guys.
I know this is the last one, because I not long ago put the Q&A up. I haven't had a chance to have loads of questions. I do have a lot of people saying, let's follow each other. Do you want
With
to
a winky
connect?
face.
Yeah, the winky face, or like, hey, Jack Richardson, or just or silly questions. You know what I mean? Who makes the best oats, me or Jack Thornburn?
Ooh, a battle of the
Well,
Jacks.
you see, this is quite subjective. You know, everyone has their oats very different and to their own personal preference. But I'm just going to say me because just for the basis of its fact.
Evidence-based.
And that's it.
Evidence-based oats. I think we can actually put oats in the same category as bodybuilding, to be that it is a very subjective topic. It's very opinionated. And no matter how much effort you can put into creating the best bowl of oats for you, there's always going to be that one person whose opinion doesn't agree with you.
Oh, I know. I've had people slate my oats. And you go, right, your oats are disgusting. Your food's disgusting. And you get to this point on prep where, like, someone said, all it looks like you eat is baby food. It's like, I don't
Oh,
eat
really?
baby food whilst eating a tub of baby rice. I don't eat baby food. But no, yeah, it's if someone asked Jack Thornburn about the bagel wars of 2018, see if he remembers that.
The
There was a
bagel
massive,
wars of 2018.
yeah, because there was this massive thing. Because I dared to warm my bagel up in the microwave, and everyone was like, "Wow, that's
Sacrilege.
crazy! Why are you eating a raw bagel? Oh, bagels can't be raw, surely." And
Yeah, bagels are actually cooked. You know, they are a baked good. Get the clue is in the name.
yeah, and yeah, Jack went crazy. Had a rant about my bagel making, and it separated people on Instagram. So that was a weird sort of tangent that went off. But yeah, like I said, in hindsight, probably put the Q&A the day before, not
Yeah.
like 5 hours before.
Yeah, yeah.
But I believe that is a great start. A great
I think
start.
it is a very good start as well. Okay, parting question. I do think that we should part on a weird question at the end of every podcast, because that is a good thing. Shoulder shimmy that. For the love of oats, I think that's what the name of the podcast should be.
The love of oats.
Oats.
But you don't like oats,
I don't.
apparently.
I don't
You
eat
know.
them. I used to eat them a lot. I lot. I used to have like 150 grams worth of oats before I went to bed every night. Yeah, I know, right?
That's great.
Um,
That's a great amount.
it
That's
was a good
what
amount. It's a good amount for somebody as tiny as me as well to eat
yeah,
oats.
very good amount. That's good effort, though.
And then for some unknown reason, I can't stomach them anymore. I really do not like them. So
I
I
know
have
why.
rice flake porridge instead.
Well, I know why. I know why. It's because you're in the off season. You get yourself on prep. I swear to God, give it like 2 months, and you'll fall in love with
Do you know,
with
I
the.
also find it though, I find it a waste of calories, because like some of my clients, for example, they say, oh God, I can't eat my breakfast. It's like, what did you have for breakfast? I had 40 grams of oats and a handful of blueberries and some protein powder stirred. I'm like, 40 grams of oats, mate, that's a fucking
Nothing.
spoonful.
That is nothing. Like
I can't
if
do
you're
it.
struggling to eat your breakfast, then place your oats with granola.
Oh, I know, right? Absolutely. Well,
Mm.
but I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the texture. Maybe it's the fact that I just feel so bloated after oats. Maybe I really, really don't know. But I do find myself being backed up for days if I have oats. So I'm not the biggest fan of oats. I do like rice flake porridge and stirring strong sports nutrition, rhubarb and custard flavored whey into your oat. I will bring you a scoop. It's
Oh
amazing.
my God, you've made my life.
It's
I'm,
amazing.
I'm
So
stopped
everybody,
talking.
if you do want some astronomical sweetie flavors, there's custard creams. And we were kind of like basing all of these flavors on biscuits. So there's custard cream, there's chocolate sponge cake, and there's now rhubarb and custard. Now the rhubarb and custard is completely different to the ones that you normally get, because they do taste like the rhubarb and custard sweeties, which is like absolutely phenomenal. They have like that sickly, sticky, sweet taste to it. And if you stir it into oats, oh my God, it's just incredible. But I don't have it in oats, I have it in rice flake porridge. So that is really, very good. But anyway, moving swiftly on from that, for the love of oats, this is the weird ending question. From being a Stokey, would you choose oats over oatcakes?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Do you know what? I haven't had an oatcake in a long, long time.
You cannot call yourself a Stokey then.
I know. It's just like I've been craving it. Don't get me wrong. I've been really wanting this oatcake, but I might actually say, I don't know. Oats are versatile. You can use them whenever or wherever. You can use them. So if I
But
had to live on,
you cannot pick up a bowl of oats ready-made for you from the Staffordshire Oatcake House.
no,
But you
you
can
can't.
pick up an oatcake.
Oh, yeah. You can have them delivered as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I really want an oatcake now. Oh my god.
What would you have in your oatcake? And would you have a double oatcake, or would you just have a single?
I speaking of Eddie Hall, I'll probably have 2 Eddie Hall specials. And with all the toppings, just everything in. I'll have everything in. Because basically, for those that don't know what an oatcake is, it's basically like a crepe-based thing, which tastes like I don't know how to describe it. What else tastes similar to that?
Oat.
Oats, yeah.
Oh.
So it's crepe made out of oats, and you put you put basically a traditional English breakfast in that, wrap it up, and then jobs are good. And
Yeah.
If anyone ever comes down to Stoke, definitely eat some oatcakes.
Yeah, definitely. Or you can make your own by grinding up oats and basically making a pancake out of it.
You could do.
But it's not the same.
I would leave it to the professionals.
I would leave it to the professionals. I
Mm.
would. And just, but if if you're a virgin, if you're an oatcake virgin, bacon and egg in an oatcake, wrapped up. Jobs are good. Right, so I think because we've been rattling on for about an hour, that is the first episode of For the Love of Oatcakes done. If anybody can think of a better name for the podcast that does contain myself, the Tiny Titan, and the Richardson, Mr. Jack _Richardson _1 on Instagram, then please do so. You shall have a special prize from one of us to who comes up with the best name. So put your suggestions in the hat. We will put an Instagram poll out as well. Other than that, guys, we will see you same time, same place next week. And get your questions in if you want us to answer any questions, scientifically speaking, funnily speaking, dancing wise, don't mind. I think that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Get those questions in, guys.
Get those questions in.
Thank you for tuning in. I've got a little turtle here. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe and leave a nice little comment and share the love.
Share the love. Bye-bye.